It's the governor. What's going on, y'all? Here today to bring you your final lesson to submit to a master. This your mountaintop jewel. So, the theme for the submit to a master lesson is if you want to be a master in life, you must submit to a master. And to clear things up, again, we got that from J Electronica. If you want to be a master in life, you must submit to a master. But to clear this up so that we understand what it means to be a master, we use the words of Drake. These days, fame is disconnected from greatness. And the key to this mountaintop jewel is a happy wife is a happy life. Now, mind you, this is your kingship jewel. And so, when we talk about a master in life, we talk about a kingship in life. We talk about, a legend and legacy. We think about, the Kobe, as a legend. We think about, Nip and Big and Pac and all of these. Some of them, they didn't have wives and they were legends. And I'll explain those people in the end because there's something there and there's a jewel at the end that brings clarity to all of those who are like, well, what if I don't have a girl? What if I'm not into that? And this, that, and the third. There's a key to this. Cause you gotta remember, a happy wife is a happy life. What does that mean? Remember, the key to this principle is a master in life. Okay? And a key to a man becoming a master in life is on that road to kingship. It's the big H word. It's the key to teamwork. It's the key to it all. And that's humility. And when you're able to learn and humbly listen and address your wife, communicate with your wife, there's something that happens. There's something that you've gained. There's something that you've learned. And I'm giving you this jewel from gentlemen that I've met all across the world, all across my travels, men that have the longevity, the kingship, that have descendants that are doing great things, that have manifested in the game. And they all tell me the key to it all is a happy wife is a happy life. And you want to know what that, what does that mean, Gov? Tell me, what does that mean? What are you saying? Your wife is always right. And again, all those who are like, I don't have a wife, I'm too young to understand what you're talking about, I got the jewel for you at the end of this lesson. So you just got to be patient. But to understand this, you got to put yourself in a man's position, a new husband's position. And what is he trying to do? He's trying to establish who he is and how he does things, how his family does things. And again, he's coming together with not just anybody, but his other half. This person that was specially made for him. This entity. Because if I say person too much, you're gonna miss out on the jewel at the end. So this entity that was taken from him, was made for him, is always right. You know what the hardest thing for a young, again, you know why I'm asking, because I'm out here putting in this work, I'm not playing in powder. You want to know what the hardest thing for a man to say to his wife? or what this encompasses. A happy wife is a happy life, and your wife is always right. What does this mean? It means for a man to say to his wife, "You're right, honey." And that's it. "You're right, honey." And keep it moving. It sounds so simple to just say, "You're right, honey." Ask a man who's married how hard it is when he first got married. When his beginning days, his first 10 years, how hard was it for him to say, "You're right, honey"? Because if you're that man, if you're the one that's meant to be the king, if you're the one that's meant to be the great one, if you're the one that has the potential to be the legend that's on the journey, that means there's something about you that's special. And you know what? That's something about you that's special that provides you all of this wondrous stuff, this kingdom that lies in the future. You know what else it provides you? It provides you with pride. And you know what? You think that you're right. You know, you're the one with all the ability. You know how to do all of this and dunk. Your coach don't know what he's talking about. He's old. But what do they end up coming back and saying? You know, coach was right. Like, it's the ability to look past your own greatness, to be able to say, "Yep, you're right," and see. Here's the key. Well, here is the key that statement unlocks for you. When you say, "Yeah, yes, honey, you're right," and you know what? You are showing that you possess. You are showing that you possess the key. Key to what? The key to the 3 things that you need to get to greatness. Got to go to my notebook here. The key is to patience. Patience is the key that unlocks the door to time and longevity. Those are the keys to successful kingship. Those are the keys to successful achievement of legendary status, to create a legacy. You have to have the key to patience that unlocks the door to time and longevity. That is what you are showing or exhibiting when you say, "Yes, honey, you're right." Because what you're saying is, I have patience. I have patience for what? I have patience to see whether or not you're right. I understand time. What do you mean? See, time is the great equalizer and it's the great revelator. So when you say, "Yes, honey, you're right," you're saying time is going to show and prove whether you're right or wrong. And you understand because you have patience. Patience is a godlike attribute. It's godlike in the sense that gods don't operate in time. Man operates in time. God operates, or gods, spiritual entities, operate outside the concept of time. So patience is a natural attribute of theirs because they don't have to worry about time. Whereas we, men, are always worried about time. We're always worried about death. And what does that, because we're always worried about time, you know what we have to do? Prove that we're right now. So many men make mistakes proving themselves in the moment. They don't know how to say, yes, honey, you're right. And let time show and prove. They got to prove it right then. And what happens when they're not able to intellectually and verbally articulate what they're saying? And just because of the nature of the game, the nature of the relationship between a man and a wife, that it's that wall there, that instead of allowing time to tear the wall down, men or pupils or players will try to run through the wall. They try to punch the wall down. They try to use force. And what do? They burn the bridge with the master. They hurt the master. They say things that can't be forgiven, and then the master departs, leaves them. Then there's another journey. See, when you understand that these days fame is disconnected from greatness, you have to understand that greatness is not something that's a fulfillment that's instantly gratified. It is preserved in time. It is preserved in being able to observe it as the flow of the game evolves, because it's a staple. It changed the game, but it's only able to be seen afterwards. It's only able to be seen as the player has influenced the game. All of that takes time and patience. Greatness takes time and patience. When you try to force that you're right now, you don't have that. And men, when they work with their other half, they try to force their way and they fail. That is one of those things where you can have all the potential in the world. You can have all the money in the world. That doesn't necessarily put you on the plane with greatness. Doesn't necessarily put you on the plane of legend. There's other things that come with it, and it is through being able to allow time to reveal. Because when you have patience, you understand time, you understand that if you are right, if you possess the keys to the situation, then the time is going to provide the opportunity for you to show and prove, where you're not showing and prove with words. You're showing and prove with the actual action. See, you try to prove with words and you go wrong. Time allows you the opportunity to show and prove through action. You want to know what the critical time? That's called crunch time. That's when, if you know what you're talking about and you believe in what you say, when crunch time comes, it's no problem for you, because you're able to show up and show and prove. And when you do that, it provides longevity. You don't waste away. And your teaching is observed. When you're right, it's recognized that you're right. And people come to you and admit that you're right, because the situation, the game revealed itself. Time revealed itself. That's why you practice. That's why you learn. That's why you're always preparing so that you know. And when it's time, you're able to prove it. When you say, yes, honey, you're right, you show patience and humility in the moment. You also allow for time to reveal. And in that, you save yourself from embarrassment, because it's nothing worse to be put up an argument only to be wrong. But again, before any of that process could begin, there has to be a sense of humility and acknowledgement that the other half, that the wife, that the pupil, that the master, the wife, the master, is the better half. A man grows to understand that his wife is right. Maybe not in the moment. The coach may not be right in the moment. But when crunch time comes, coach will be right. The master will be right. Your wife will be right. And it's learning to be able to go against what you might be naturally inclined to do, to listen to wisdom, to listen to the jewels that's given to you so that you don't make the mistakes that those that came before you made that may have distracted them or took them away from the path that leads to greatness, leads to kingship. It's that humility that one doesn't know everything, one doesn't possess everything, that one is always, there's always an opportunity to learn and gain and refine and evolve, and that process is encouraged, that helps this, or that is interlocking with all of these attributes, because you want to be what it is that your wife sees the best in you. Like, you want a happy life. You want children that respect you. You want the community to respect you. You want to have say. Like, but you want to be happy. Like, you got to ask yourself, all those that go another way, are they happy? The key to those who say, well, I don't have a wife, I don't have this, I don't have that. You know what you have? You have the game. And the game is your wife. You're married to the game. And the game is always right. How many people try to cheat the game only for them to learn the hard way and then want the game to accept them back? To have to you, I was wrong, and then ask for the game's forgiveness because you broke the rules. You didn't listen to those that came before you, didn't listen to the rules of the game. You broke something, a commandment that you knew came with the game that you played. And what happens? The game will leave you. The game will betray you. The game will divorce you and leave you in a realm all by yourself, where you have to go find a whole new game, a whole new life. You know what they say? Life is a bitch. But it's one that we're all married to. So if you don't submit to it and learn from it, you'll never master it. All those that are legends studied the game. They studied the masters. They studied those that came before them. They learned from the mistakes of those around them. They submitted to a master. And sometimes they sacrifice for the master, but they're reborn in the game. They're reborn in for future generations. So with that being said, submit to the master.